one last question. Yes, ma'am.
I understand that you had the greatest library of any single person in the United States.
I would like to think it is. I doubt it may be the largest, but I think it is in the number of those most large in our nation, yes.
And after the books in the White House were burned, that you offered your collection to be purchased at whatever price they named. So when you received that money, did that make you more financially stable?
No.
It did not. So you owed greater debt than that amount?
Yes, again, I ask you to look upon that illustration below stairs to see that I am but typical of many large plantation owners south of the line drawn by Messrs. Mason and Dixon. The selling of my library to Congress, because the Library of Congress had been burned, was an effort to resuscitate that library that the Congress initially had. In fact, my library is much larger than the original Library of Congress. So it was sold at a much higher price than the initial Library of Congress would have even been worth. But it was not an element to resuscitate my estate. It was simply to resuscitate the holdings of the Library of Congress, that they might have an opportunity. In fact, I almost immediately have begun to purchase a third library. I can't afford it, but I cannot live without books.
I was thinking it would be a win-win.
No. I mentioned someone the other day said, Mr. Jefferson, about how much are you in debt? And I said, well, it continues to accrue well over $100,000. He said, Mr. Jefferson, do you know in 200 years' time, that will be equal to about $10 to $12 million? What imagination they had. I cannot imagine such a great debt as that. We talk in respects to hundreds of thousands. Who would ever think to talk with respect to millions? No. So no matter. A very good question, which makes me ponder the more so. Perhaps I should stop building a third library unless it offers me the same opportunity. But I would never hope that our Library of Congress would ever be set to such a conflagration again. What I am more hopeful for is that our members of Congress will read their own library. Citizens, I thank you for the opportunity that you have allowed me to be in your presence. Indeed, I thank you for reflecting along with me where we have been, with a great hope of where we are going. I can assure you that I steer my bark with hope at the bow and fear well astern, ever remaining a humble and obedient servant, Thomas Jefferson. Godspeed.